Fel Peters, whose childhood fantasy is coming to life. He's building a poor man's space shuttle in a garage.
One of those volunteers will be Truax's first astronaut. At 26, Fel Peters hopes to become the youngest man in space.
I was brought up on Project Mercury and Gemini and Apollo, and I thought that's something I want to do eventually. And this is a perfect way of doing it, too.
Peters doesn't seem worried by the prospect of going up in a homemade rocket.
I could get knocked off, but Bob is an awfully good engineer.
There will, of course, be a number of unmanned test flights first. But when Truax says all systems are go, the astronaut will squeeze himself into a capsule that's too small to let him wear a spacesuit. Truax plans to launch his ship, the Enterprise, from a barge anchored off the California coast. The first manned flight will go up 65 miles, just past the threshold of space, and return to Earth all in less than 15 minutes. So short a time that he won't even have a formal life support system.
Next, right here on Evening Magazine, a homemade rocket.
Shooting for the stars from a suburban backyard in his own homemade rocket ship.
I don't want people to think that I'm a stuntman or a daredevil, because I'm not. I'm an average person with above average goal to be the first private astronaut in space. Ejector plate.
Fel's out-of-this-world ambition got fueled when he met retired Navy Captain Robert Truax. A pioneer when it comes to rockets, Truax was the first head of the Air Force space program.
I'm surprised none of this wiring got burned.
He started to build a rocket, but ran out of money. So in order to find investors and attract public attention, he advertised for an astronaut. He got over 4,000 responses, including one from Fel Peters. The right physical type, a gymnast and skydiver. Fel had one more thing going for him to give him the jump on the others.
I finally reached the point where, to get them off of my back as much as anything, I said the first idea to raise $100,000 goes to the head of the line. And indeed, I came up with Fel Peters, who was willing to put his money where his mouth was.
Buckle up for safety.
With his complete savings, $40,000, Fel bought the only seat on the Enterprise. The rocket that's going to take Fel into space is hardly what you would call a luxury model. I mean, we're talking about 25 inches in diameter and some manual emergency controls. Basically, all Fel has to do is just sort of sit here and enjoy the ride. 63 miles up at 2,700 miles an hour, and then it's splashdown, hopefully, into the Pacific. But you have to think about this now. It's one thing to give NASA a run for their money to make millions of dollars. But don't you know that Fel also has to know that this could be a one-way ticket to heaven?
The reason that I know I won't get killed, and I know it, is because my faith in, I say the source, some people say the force or God or whatever.
Still $1 million short of getting off the ground. Once the funds are raised, it'll be about 18 months to blast off.
You have so much out there. We're just a little particle, a little piece of dust in this huge universe, and we're not going out there to explore. And I want to stimulate that. I want to stimulate it with Bob Truax.
Fel Peters is a true-life Flash Gordon. He's invested all his time and all his money in a dream for the future. It's a dream of other worlds, a better world on Earth. And after all, when it comes to dreams, the sky's the limit.